Okay, cool. It should be recording now.
Can you hear me, Scott?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're very big on our screen. Yep, you're really big on our screen. Like your face is right in our face.
Yeah, sorry. No,
no, it's okay.
Entire
screen. It's just funny.
Ah, cool. Okay. You can hear. All right, everybody. We're almost ready to start. Just waiting for a couple more people to rock up. I think this might be a bit of a smaller session by the looks of it, and the 201's just going to be out of control. So, yeah, we'll just see how we go.
I'm trying to get back to my other screen. No, there it is.
Do you want us to have analytics open on our screens as well?
I'll tell you when you need to have that open if you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely in the 201 section, there's going to be session. There's going to be a lot of that. In the 101, there will be some of that too. Yes, but I'll show you when we get to that. So you don't need it open straight away, but get ready.
Yeah. Cool.
Alright, well, can you guys maybe move a bit closer up here, just because no one could hear anyone's questions last time up the back of the room? Yeah, cheers. Cool. All right. I think we'll get started. Can someone close the door over there, Veronica? Thanks, Veronica. All right. Everyone ready? Yep. Okay. Let's go, everybody. Everyone's on the line there. So thanks for coming, everybody. We've got Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, and Brisbane. So hopefully everything doesn't fall apart, but it should be fine. Okay, so Analytics 101 and Analytics 201. I'm going to be doing both of these, and Justin's going to jump in as needed. So ask any of us any questions as we go through. The 101 session is obviously a bit more basic. I'm not going to go too hardcore into the interface. We'll have a bit more of a description of what we do and some of the strategies around it. And 201 is just going to be absolutely full on. So I reckon not many people are going to know much of the stuff in that. So, but we'll see how we go with that. We just try to roll it. We had like basically 150 pages slides that we tried to fit into like 80. So. We had to cut out heaps, so hopefully that goes okay. I hope it's a good mix, but please give us any feedback in the end, and yeah, ask any questions along the way. Okay, so hello, welcome again. This is the Reprise Analytics team, Scott and Justin. This is the agenda for this session. So we're going to go through what is web analytics, what is a measurement framework, and what does a measurement framework look like for your website. We'll talk about the products that we offer in the analytics team. Then we'll go over an example of a mini audit, which is one of the major products that we run, and a mini reporting framework. And the basic functionality bit, I think we'll leave out for now. We'll probably go over that at another time, and maybe we'll dive into that a bit more in the 201 session if you're attending that. Okay, cool. So first of all, as we always say, good to get certified. It's really useful to help you to get better at using analytics. So these are the qualifications that you should get. GAIQ, of course, everyone knows. GTM fundamentals and AdWords fundamentals. Okay, more info on how to get these certifications is here. We'll send out the decks at the end of this presentation so that you can refer to these whenever you need to. Okay, so welcome to the internet. What is... That's a good picture, right? What is web analytics? Well, so the web is, it's not the matrix, it's your website. So obviously there's lots of data coming through to your website, covering what your users do, where they came from, who they are, and what they did. So how is this data captured? Well, the first way and main way that we all know about is cookies. So does anyone have a go at telling me what a cookie is and how it's used? Anyone in Melbourne? Okay, so a cookie is basically a small text file that is stored on your browser. So when you go to a website, it stores information about you, and it can identify you when you go back to that website. So on your browser, you'll have a number of cookies for a number of sites, storing information about you and identifying you for that website. So that's the main way that data is captured these days. Previously, the data used to be captured through server logs, and that method is no longer used because the internet has moved on from those early days. So one big reason is caching. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with caching, but basically what happens is when you go to a web page and it's got, say, a really big picture on the page, there's no point in you downloading that same picture over and over again. So what your browser does in the background is it works out, is this a new image? Have I seen it before? And if I haven't, it'll download a new image. And if I have, it'll just restore the cached image that I have before. So what that happens is it makes the internet a lot faster for everybody, right? But unfortunately, that stuffed up server logs, so they couldn't track people coming because you weren't actually going to the server anymore. You were just re-uploading. I don't know, reinvigorating the view of the web page through your cache. Now we move on to potentially a new way of capturing data, and that's cookieless tracking. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this much, but basically there's problems with cookies. So we all know that they can be a bit annoying, and we can turn them off if we want to. There's cookie blockers and ad blockers and things like that which we can use. So eventually cookie tracking could not be as useful as what it is, and to be honest, when you are on a web page, because people are blocking cookies, you're not getting a full picture of users on your site anyway, right? There's going to be a certain percentage who you're not tracking. So cookieless tracking is being dreamt up by Google and others to circumvent this, and one way which it could happen is through the caching that we spoke about before. So every time you go to a website, your browser initiates a caching call. So what it's asking for is this a fresh version of the website? So during that call, the response from the server could be a JavaScript snippet that includes a unique ID for you. So it doesn't need to be a cookie anymore. This could be just part of the way the web works now with caching nowadays. So that's just one way I've read about. There's different sort of ideas about how this could be done, but that's the way it's moving basically. Cool, so getting back to basics a bit, this is what a cookie looks like. So if you go into your browser for Chrome and look at your cookies, this is what you'll see for the unique visitor cookie, which is the UTM-A. So all it is a text string. So the start of it is the domain hash, which is basically the unique identifier of the website. Unique ID is a unique identifier for yourself. And then the first visit timestamp that you arrived at that site, your previous visit timestamp, your current visit timestamp, and the number of sessions since you first arrived at that site. Okay, how's this data captured? Well, we know these tools, obviously Google Analytics, but there's a few other ones. Adobe Analytics, for example, Core Metrics, Web Trends, and Snowplow. Cool. All right, so that's a bit of a background sort of stuff. So let's talk about measurement framework now. Okay, so case study on Anomaly. So this is the Anomaly website. Has anyone been to the Anomaly website here or had a look around? 5 minutes sort of look around. If anybody's got the laptop with them now, maybe just go to the Anomaly website. It's called weareanomaly.com. And just have that in the background as we go through this example. So I'll just give you a moment to navigate to that. Yeah, so it's weareanomaly, one word, .com. You could also try the Reprise website, but oh, hang on. Is people getting an error for weareanomaly.com?
Yeah, I can't get it.
All right, so is anybody in you're in? You got an error. Okay, weirdly, some people are getting an error and some people are getting into the Anomaly site. Let's just persevere. Try and share screens with the person next to you who has We Are Anomaly open. We do know that the Reprise website is down at the moment, so I don't know if that's related. Anyway, it's not a huge deal. We've got the screen capture here to look at as well. Is Reprise working? Maybe you're looking at a cache version of it. Anyway. That is awesome. Okay, all right, please do not go to the Reprise website right now. Okay, I think I'll just quickly explain it. So you guys have heard the website's been down the last few days. So we've had to move server to a new host, and this looks like it's what's happening there. So, okay, guys, can we move on to what we're doing here with Anomaly? So there's 5 steps of a measurement framework. They are to document your business objectives, step 1. Step 2, identify your site objectives. Step 3, choose your KPIs. Then choose your segments. Then choose your targets. Okay, so the Anomaly website, if we wanted to think of what the business objective for Anomaly was, we might assume that their objective is to be the best marketing analytics agency in Australia. So can you think of some site objectives or goals that would help Anomaly reach this goal? So just take a moment to reflect on that screenshot or look at the website if you've got access and think about what some of the objectives and goals for their website might be. Yeah, potentially, but what's that actually? That'd be engagement, right? I guess, or maybe you're trying to drive leads through that. Sorry, just to repeat, we had someone through our case study views there. Yeah. Sorry, what was that, Daniel? The contact form, yeah, definitely. Contact form, definitely. We want to get people going to that and leaving their details. Yeah. Sorry, what was that, Dan? Oh, Matt? Want to attract talent? Yes, definitely. So we want to get people going to the careers section as well. Okay, some good ideas there. So here's some that I did previously. So we want to create awareness of Anomaly. Yeah, more people are coming to the site. We want to capture leads through the contact us page, which Daniel brought up, which is great. Matt brought up the careers section, so yeah, definitely we want to increase job applications through the careers section as well. And engagement. So I guess this is potentially the case study sort of thing, people returning to the site because they know there's good information there. Cool. All right, so let's focus on these goals and objectives. So first of all, let's look at awareness. So this is how you build up a measurement framework for your site. So you set up your goal first. So the goal is to increase site traffic. The key performance indicator is, of course, visits to weareanomaly.com. Okay, so in the target section, you have to think about, obviously, how many people were previously coming to your site and how many you want to start coming in the future. So I don't know the exact numbers for Anomaly, but speaking to the guys I know who work there, but I know that roughly 2,500 people a month go there. So maybe your target might be 2,500 people per month visitors to the site. And then what sort of segments might you look at? So the traffic source would be interesting, what devices and browsers they were using, and also bounce rate. Is there people who are coming from certain areas who are just not interested in that material at all? Okay, so what you would do with these elements is you'd construct a site goal out of them, and then you put that into Google Analytics and start measuring goals and conversions in your site that way. So this is an awareness goal. Okay, so let's have a look at increased sales leads. So obviously the goal is to increase sales leads. What would be a key performance indicator here? Is there anyone? Contact form completion? Yeah, sure. Contact details submitted to weareanomaly.com/contact. And again, we're just going to throw some numbers at this because I don't know how many contact submissions they get per month. Let's say it's 100 submissions per month. And then what segments would we be interested in? Anyone willing to throw some out? How about demographics? So if you're generating a lead, right, you want to know a bit about this person and you know where they're coming from, what their interests are, and maybe targeting those type of areas with your advertising and stuff moving forward. Cool. All right. So that's just a bit of background on building up a measurement framework. So this is one of the things we do is we look at a website, we determine what the site goals are, we try and determine what some targets are and what segments we should be measuring against, and then we build into a reporting framework which we can then send on to the client. Okay, so Reprise products. First, let's go through Reprise's digital framework. So obviously we've all heard this before, so a lot of this stuff is going to be a bit sort of backgroundy for new people to the business and stuff, but good to have a bit of a refresher as well. So Attract. So analytics helps measure attraction and can also be used to retarget returning users. So analytics is generally about measurement, but it can also be used a bit more proactively in some of these areas. Engage. So analytics can assist engagement of users by serving them personalized content. It also measures engagement, as we spoke about. So analytics covers web testing, the primary way to improve, which is the primary way to improve conversions on a page. So everyone's aware of web testing, right? They know what's going on there, comparing two different versions of a page and which is performing better. Yep, cool. And then finally, Delight. Analytics can help with personalization and retargeting to delight your audience and keep them on the page. So clearly, it touches all of these areas. Okay, so let's go through the analytics products that we work on that some of you guys might not be aware of. So the first one is the analytics audit implementation and implementation. So this can be a full or mini review of a client's analytics setup, including implementation of the findings. Reporting framework and implementation. So this is tying into what we did before. It's a review of a client's site objectives, developing a measurement framework, and looking at it from a tagging perspective. So what areas of the site are not measured by Google Analytics that we can start including in Google Analytics. So that would be things like video plays, PDF downloads, and other events that we might want to put on the page. Web testing CRO, so we spoke about that. So web testing involves hypothesis development. So by that, it means basically creating the idea of what we want to test first, then the actual test setup, and then result reporting using our providers, which are AB Tasty, VWO, and Crazy Egg we use to assist with hypothesis development. Just as a bit of background as well, does everyone know what Crazy Egg is? No?
No.
Okay, cool. So Crazy Egg is basically some software that you put on a page that tracks people's clicks on the page. So what you can build out of that is a heat map or a map of clicks after the fact. So you might have this running for like 2 weeks and then come back and you'll see where users were clicking on the page, where they weren't clicking, and then you can use that information to build up a hypothesis. So the hypothesis might be everybody's clicking on this section here, but not over there. Maybe we should change that other section, make it a bit more appealing, or whatever it is. So Crazy Egg is mainly for hypothesis building. Okay, so tag management. So if you were in the tag management courses last week, you would have got a bit of a refresher on all things tag management. We offer the full gamut of tag management services. I'd probably say we're the most advanced tag management sort of team in the building. It's not just me and Justin, it's also the SEO team are heavily involved in that as well. And as we said last week, we're moving towards sharing a lot more of this with Anomaly and standardizing a lot of our tagging. So you'll probably hear a bit more about that in coming weeks. Okay, Google Analytics Premium. So everybody has heard of this? Yep, sounds like most people have. Can someone tell me the major difference between GA Premium and GA Standard, besides the price, obviously? In terms of functionality, yep. Sampling, that's right, yes. The major difference between the two is that the free version has sample data and the premium version doesn't, so you get all of your data. Basically, that means it's a lot more accurate. Okay, so reporting and dashboards. We assist clients to build dashboards either in GA or they might be custom reports or also the Google Sheets add-on. So we can do some pretty cool reporting stuff as well. Analytics consultancy, this can be anything basically. So UX, strategy, cross-domain tracking, universal analytics, etc. So any questions, consultancy work we can help out with. And finally, new products. So we're actually working across a whole range of weird and whatever stuff. So we've got cart abandonment, tag personalization, snowplow, and the pack order tool that we're looking at. Okay. Just to give a bit of a rough guide of the prices of these things. So the analytics audit implementation is between 5,000 and 15,000. These all depend on the size and complexity of the website. So always we're going to need to draw up a quote in conjunction with the analytics team. But yeah, it's not going to be a set price. It's going to be different for each website. The implementation is going to be between 2.5 and 7.5, depending on the size of the site and complexity. Reporting framework's a bit cheaper. It's not quite as in-depth as a full analytics audit, but again, it's quite expensive and detailed as well, depending on how many tags need to be put on the site as well. Web testing CRO is kind of interesting. So we've just recently signed up a new provider in AB Tasty, which is a lot cheaper than the previous ones that we used to use. Previously, we used to do web tests for like 10,000 a test. We wouldn't do it any cheaper than that. Now we're charging 4,250 for a test. And actually, some of the ones we're charging now are a little bit cheaper because we've already done some of the legwork in terms of the hypothesis building and stuff like that. But if you were to start from scratch and do a web test today with us, you could do one for 4,250 with 50,000 visitors. So that's a lot better than it was previously. Yeah, he's cheaper. Just to give you an idea as well, we had like here last year, full web testing program was $200,000. Yeah, it was like 12 tests or roughly.
Hey Scott, can you repeat the web testing part? You just cut out for us.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you want me to repeat that? Hello?
Hey, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you want me to repeat that?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay. We have recently signed up a new web testing partner called AB Tasty, and the prices for that are roughly half of, even slightly less than half of the prices of our previous providers. So now we can run tests for 4,250 compared to previously it would have been $10,000 for the same tests. Okay, so Tag Manager, 11,400 for installation and 8 tags. GA Premium is 150,000 US per annum. This is paid in US dollars, so obviously the exchange rate going backwards, it can get quite expensive. Reporting dashboards, anywhere between 2,000 and 7,000. Analytics consultancy, price on quote, and new products in development. Okay, cool. How do you sign someone up for analytics work? Keep in mind any possible analytics work in all your pitches. Speak to Scott and Justin first for a quote, then get a contract signed, and once you've done that, get a work code, and then work can commence. All right, cool. So that was kind of long drawn out, maybe a bit boring, but let's jump in and get a bit involved now, and let's have a look at an example of an analytics audit. So can everyone please log into Google Analytics for Reprise Oz users, and could they go to this view, please? So it's the Reprise Analytics testing, training Reprise store, all website data. So I'll just give everyone a moment to log into that view.
I don't understand the share the screen from the Hangout and then just go on.
Okay, cool. I'll assume that everyone has logged into that view. Yep, sorry, some people are still logging in. Okay, so this view relates to the training store website, which we showed everyone in the GTM training the other day. So can you go to that web address as well, please? training.scottsunderland.net, and just have that in the background. So obviously, as the new website gets up, we'll look to move some of these things across to subdomains on the new site. But for now, we're just going through one of my domains. Cool. So those who were there last week will see that we've really put a lot of work into the store and really spruced it up a lot. We've actually added it in a blog, which has got some nice quotes from Pulp Fiction. Okay, so this is what I want you guys to do. Can you answer this question? Are the demographics reports available in GA for this site? And if they're not, how do we turn these on?
Hey, Scott, our internet in Melbourne just down for the last, I think, 15 minutes, so we lost the last 15 minutes of the presentation. Okay, 5 minutes of the presentation. So we don't really know what website you're talking about. Do you mind just going back a few slides?
That's fine, yeah, I'll go back to that. So can you see on the screen now that web address?
Yeah. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, so open that web address, and also can you go into Google Analytics for Reprise Oz users and go to this view that's on the screen now? Okay, so hopefully everyone's in by now. Is everyone in? Is everyone cool? Yeah, cool. Cool. So, does anyone want to throw out how do we turn these on? No. Okay. So what we do is we go into the admin section of Google Analytics, and we go down to. Is it in view settings or property settings? I'll dive in now and show you on the screen. Okay, so what was it called? It's called training or website data. Okay, so are the demographics reports on? We'll click in and have a look. Well, it looks like there's no data coming through. But I'm guessing someone's turned this on, right? Because that should actually have a message up there.
Hey, Scott, I think that was me. I pressed enable. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Is it in property settings?
I just did it in the view.
Yeah, here we go. So Okay, yep. So under property settings, you have enable demographics and interest reports. Someone's turned that on, which was great. I think it was turned off before, but that's all good. So we're back on with that. Great. So good work. All right. So next question: the site search reports. Are the site search reports available and turned on? Can you please go into GA and have a look if the site search reports are available, and if they are, or are they turned on? Okay, Josh, are the site search reports on or working? No. Yes, we've got it. That's right. No, they're not on or working. So how do we turn these on? Matt, Daniel? No idea. Veronica? Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right. So I think it's in property settings. So no, actually, this one's not in property settings. It's in view settings. That's right. So if you go to view settings, you scroll down the bottom, you can see site search settings here. So to turn it on, we'll just flick that button, and then we have this information about a query parameter. So can you just go back to the training store site and just search for something in there? I'm going to type in Ninja. I know that that's one of the products in there. Now, if you look at the URL up the top, we can see what the query parameter is. It's the string after the question mark. So in this case, it's S. So we would put in an S in here in the query parameter. We'd do the tick box, strip query parameters out of URL. Sorry, we're just getting a phone call here. Yeah, that's not working, guys, at all. Let's just. Can you hang up on that, please? Sorry, guys. We've got some technical difficulties from Melbourne. Okay, Rowan, can you hear me?
Yeah, we called you guys just to see if we can just do the audio over the phone.
Yeah, no, we couldn't because there's massive feedback there. Can you hear us fine now, or what?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, but it just keeps going in and out. So
let's just stick with this for now. Maybe we can fix it up during the break before the 2:01.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, I'm going to go back to screen share now. Okay, cool. So that was the site search reports. And finally, cross-domain tracking. So looking at the GA interface, do you think that this site might have any cross-domain tracking issues? So a cross-domain tracking issue is when there are self-referrals. Can anyone have a guess at what a self-referral is? What about Daniel Horning? Yes, that's a very good explanation. Daniel said a subdomain of your own website. That would be a good example of traffic coming to your domain that is actually from your own domain, as it were. It's a self-referral. So can you please go to GA for the training website and see if you think there's any cross-domain tracking issues for it? What would you do to check that out? Why don't you go to the referrals report under all channels. Okay, once you go to the referrers report, you'll see that there's no referrers coming in. So in this case, we would say, no, there is not a self-referral problem for this website. Cool. All right, let's have a look at an example reporting framework. Okay, so thinking back to the example we did before, what would be the site goals and objectives for the training store website? Paolo, can you think of a site goal for the training store? Sales, yeah, definitely. Vivian? What might another goal? So obviously sales is the main one, you're trying to sell products, but what other things are on that website? Blog, yeah, that's correct. So blog engagement could be another goal. Yeah. Time on site, yeah. Yeah, these are all good. So there's no necessarily right or wrong answer here, but I guess it's which ones are the most important. So what I came up with was, I agreed with Paolo, I thought buying products was the most important, so e-commerce. Also agreed with Sam about reading the blog. Engagement would be important for this site. There's also that PDF download on the main page. Hopefully it's still there, because it'd be confusing if it wasn't. But that would be an example of another site goal or objective. Let's think about the blog. What would be, well, what's the goal here of the blog? Pardon? Time spent on the page, yeah. That would be a good one. What about traffic to the blog? We want more people going to it, right? Yeah, so increased visits to the blog pages would be one goal. And make sure people are reading the content. So that ties into your statement about time on the page. But there's also other ways to measure that. So yeah, sharing, that'd be a really good one. I didn't think about that. Scroll depth, did they scroll to the end of the blog article? That could be another way. So what would be the key performance indicators for these? Well, for visits to the blog pages, we would match people who've landed on any page with blog as part of the URL structure. So we could use this regex here. So those people who were in the GTM session last week will recall some of the regex we used. This syntax here just basically means any string that starts with any characters and then reads blog and then ends with any number of characters after it as well. And then to make sure people are reading the content, so Paolo's example of time spent on the page would be one way to do this. Another way would be to ensure that 25% of users read the blog article to completion. Yeah, we're saying the same thing there. But yeah, basically you're trying to ensure that people are reading the blog. So this is where the targets come in. So yeah, again, we definitely don't have 1,000 people going to the training store, but you know, whatever the benchmark has been over time, or what your competitors are, you could use that as your target and then try and beat that. And again, the target I've set here is that 25% of all users read a blog article to completion. Again, we could set that to whatever we like. And then finally, what segments would we be interested in? So what are their demographics? You know, what do they look like? How old they are? Where they're living? What browsers, etc. they're using? And more importantly, I guess we'd be interested in what referrer sites they came from. Were they social or were they organic? Cool. All right. Well, that's pretty much the end of the one-on-one session. Is there any questions on that? It's pretty sort of basic kind of stuff. We wanted to sort of go slowly, and then the 201s, it's going to be pretty hectic. So, but yeah, is there any questions on any of that? No.
With the web testing costs.
Yep.
What we're aiming for 200.
Yep.
Does that include that into your test report? As sort of like an overview of what the tests, the results, and then recommendations after that?
Yeah, so the question was, does the web testing product, if you were, come with a document showing the results and recommendations, etc.? Yeah, it certainly does. That's the main output of that product. You don't want to just get a whole lot of a hypothesis. You want to get some detail about what you need to do following those tests. So yeah, definitely you get a document explaining the results of that test. But it depends on what the client's after as well. Some of them just want like a PowerPoint and a few slides saying, yeah, let's do this, and some of them want a bit more detail, like a document saying, you know, is this statistically significant, etc. So depends.
What the GA premium is worth, like it's 150
Yep.
years worth.
Is it? So the question was, is GA Premium worth 150,000 per year? That's a good question. I would say, for me personally, it's definitely not. However, for a really big agent, a really big company like Bunnings or Target, who we know are both on it, then maybe yes, because Bunnings has 8.5 million people going to its site a month. And if you think about some of the segments that you can get into, so some of the campaigns that they run, if you dig into those in detail, so the campaign, how it ran for people from, say, social compared to display or something like that. So the more you segment that campaign, the further you go, it introduces sampling to that number. So instead of 100 people coming through that campaign from social, sampling might change it to 50, or it can get like highly inaccurate. Obviously, having not GA Premium, you get rid of that sampling. So for a multi-million dollar company like Bunnings, yeah, I guess it is worth it. But for me, running a small website, no, definitely not. So yeah, the major benefit of GA Premium is sampling for sure, but it's also you get to see some extra functionality, which we're going to go through in the 201 session. I'll show you, and that is things like data-driven attribution, BigQuery, and custom funnels. So some of this stuff is really awesome and high tech for a company that's got loads and loads of data and that can action that. Cool. All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions, we'll have a bit of a sort of a break now between the 201 session starting. So I'm not sure what the time is now. Cool. It's 2:45. So, geez, we've got a really long break. But that's cool. Go and stretch your legs, come back, and then 3:15 we're going to start the 201 session. Cool. Thanks, guys. 3:15 that is. Yeah. Cool.
All right.